take the can bag back here.
There's never been a formal job description for the wife of the head of school.
My official title is assistant to the head for special projects, whatever that means. I had to figure it out for myself.
Come on, Marco. Hey there.
Each faculty person has one day off, and ours is Saturday, when it's the two of us. The rest of the time, we just keep our heads down and work on what's right in front of us. But every once in a while, I blink and wonder how we wound up here. How do they get started, these lifelong gravitations? We're influenced by other people, some more than others. If you want a good influence, you can start right here with this man. Met Will, a college summer, heading out, evening with friends. I taught sailing on Cape Cod with these boys. Will Graham's on the Cape, they said. Who? All-American, lacrosse captain, football captain. Nothing in common, I thought. Gravitation, that's what it was. More forces pull on us than we can ever know. What voices are you going to listen to? Who are you going to put your trust in? When Midland was founded, the expectations for women were a lot different than they are today. Midland was a boys' school, and there weren't any women on the faculty. The only women on the scene were faculty wives, many with children to raise. When you read about Paul Squibb, the presence of Louise is always implied. It was really the two of them that worked together to create the school and make it last. They met as passengers on an ocean liner coming back from Europe in 1927, and they spent the next 57 years together as a team. Gary Lewis went to Midland in the early 1940s. Starting in the late 90s, he spent 8 years writing this beautifully researched biography of Paul Squibb.
My wife never had a title in any records of the school until she became secretary of the corporation in 1941. Any title would have been entirely inadequate or much hyphenated, for she did a good deal of everything except teach. All boys were well aware of the hours she spent on afternoon milk and crackers or soup in wet weather, and many were aware that she had an active part in providing breakfast and some other meals. Nearly everybody knew about her competitions in identifying all of the trees and ferns on the ranch, and a large number of the flowering plants.
Hope it's good.
Cookies.
Do you make these yourself?
Yes, I did. I hope you enjoy them. So nice that you joined me for tea this afternoon.
Louise initiated a contest at tea time in which she awarded a candy bar to any boy who brought in and identified at least 10 different flowers.
James, why don't you pass the cookies around? Louis,
Oh,
would you
thank
like
you.
to go first with your specimens?
Yeah, sure. Here.
Great.
Okay.
Show me what you have.
This is the Toyon.
Boy, I'm good.
Okay. This is the native California walnut. This is rosemary. And then I found 3 sages. I found the purple sage,
Sage?
hummingbird sage,
The hummingbird sage.
and the native California sage.
No, that's sagebrush.
Here, let me smell it. Yeah, that's sagebrush.
Yes, it is sagebrush. Artemisia californica.
Good job, Miles. All right, James, what have you got?
Deerweed,
Nice.
pine.
Ever since the school started,
we have made an effort to learn the trees and plants that grow on the school property. When it comes to trees, right around the school property, we find the coast live oak, the valley white oak, and the blue oak. The sycamore and the Fremont cottonwood. A mile or so up the creek begin the alders, the willows, and the big leaf maple. A mile further, by the Indian campground, occurs our first bay, the California laurel. The gray pines begin to get thick just about a mile from the school. But you have to go to the highest point on the ranch before you find the Coulter pine with its huge cones, about 3 miles from the school and 1,000 feet higher. Last year, Wilson, class of '49, located several good specimens of the black cottonwood near the beginning of Holly Creek.
Hey, let's go to the treehouse.
Oh, what do you think, Kirby? All this record keeping is becoming so tedious and time-consuming. Sometimes I'm tempted to give it all up.
Oh, don't give it all up. If it weren't for you, nobody would notice anything.
Marguerite and I didn't spend a lot of time looking into the past because we had our hands full getting to know Midland in the here and now. The students, the faculty, the board of trustees, the flow of daily life. But the more we got to know Midland, the more we felt like we were getting to know Paul Squibb himself. His fingerprints were all over the place.
Oh, that was a fail. Solid.